All right, welcome back to another episode of Small Guys Podcast. Today we are doing a rewind on the movie Knives Out from 2019. We kind of wanted to do this movie before the new Knives Out Glass Onion movie comes out later this year. We are without Brian today, sadly. It breaks our hearts to say that. Yeah, it really sucks. But we're going to power through it. Yeah, we're going to power through it. So yeah, let's get into the synopsis. The circumstances surrounding the death of crime novelist Harlan Thrombey are mysterious, but there's one thing that renowned detective Blanc knows for sure. Everyone in this wildly dysfunctional Thrombey family is a suspect. Now Blanc must sit through a web of lies and red herrings to uncover the truth. This movie is PG-13, and it made 165 mil in the USA. It's 2 hours and 10 minutes long. It's a Lionsgate film, and it's got a 97% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes and a 92% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. What was your guys' thoughts on this film?
One of the best original films that we've had in the last 10 years.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean it hits on everything. It's literally a mystery thriller comedy movie.
Yep. It's Clue.
Yeah, literally. I mean, they say in the movie that the house is literally like a clue board. Yep. And two, like this movie, and you guys know I love this shit. It's rewatchable. And you notice a lot more things every single time through.
Rewatchable.
Super rewatchable.
Even when you know who the killer is, or who the I don't know what you want to call it, the villain is. It's still a great watch.
The antagonist.
The antagonist.
There you go, buddy. There's the movie you're looking for.
I wasn't gonna say that.
Yeah, I know, and it's
because he's not the antagonist.
Well. I think Brian said it a few weeks ago. He's like, it's weird. I forgot what movie it was. Maybe it was like a while ago when we did The Gray Man, but Brian said it was weird to see Chris Evans as a villain. Brian has not seen this movie yet. I told him to watch it anyway. Because Chris Evans does a great job.
This is the first role that anyone has seen Chris Evans in that he isn't Captain America. I mean, not as Captain America, but as a good guy, unless you want to say Scott Pilgrim. But yeah, I mean, he's like an actual
Human Torch too. He's kind of like a bad boy kind of thing.
Yeah, he's just an asshole, but he wasn't a villain. Like this one, he's just a fucking scumbag.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, he's country club raised.
Well, he's basically a racist too. Only to help fucking call him Hugh and everything like that. And I mean, this movie does a lot of like brave things too. Like you kind of know what happens to Harlan, like in the first 30, 45 minutes, like you kind of figure out exactly, and you're like, oh, that's kind of weird. Like you'd think it would kind of like you'd go through this movie trying to solve it with Blanc, but no, you kind of figure out right away, in a way, right, of how he died at least.
Yeah, I kind of liked that though, that it becomes less about how he dies and who did it. It's a who did it movie.
And then at the end, it ties in how he died, who did it, and everything.
Yeah,
like, the whole process together. Switches. And that's why I really like this movie. Guess we could say, didn't Rian Johnson direct this movie?
Yeah, he did my favorite Star Wars movie, The Last Jedi.
Yeah, so this was after The Last Jedi. This is his way of making up for directing such a shitty film.
Yeah, and he is doing the new one, right?
Star Wars film of all time. Yep, he is doing it.
And he wrote and directed this movie.
Yeah. So I mean, this is like, and I remember reading or writing something about how like you can't bash him as a director for The Last Jedi. That just wasn't his genre to do.
No,
like, it takes a lot out of someone to direct such a big scale movie, such as a Star Wars movie.
And then you put him in something like this, and he does a really good job.
It won. I'm pretty sure there's won some awards, didn't it?
I mean, let's just look at the cast really quick. I mean, you got Daniel Craig, Chris Evans, and Ana de Armas, Jamie Lee Curtis, Toni Collette, who's just an Hereditary that we talked about, Michael Shannon, who was in Bullet Train recently,
Keith Stanfield.
Yeah.
Hannah Baker's in it.
Don't ask me why. I don't know. I don't like Toni Collette. I don't know why. I don't even have a reason.
Really?
I don't have. I just don't like.
She's a good ass actress.
She's a really good ass actress.
I don't care. I just don't like her.
That's why she's such a good actress that you hate her in real life.
But compared to this to her performance in Hereditary, it's two completely different people. Like she's playing this like valley girl, spoiled like.
I know. I don't know why I don't like her. It's not. It is actually kind of personal. I don't even have a reason. If I meet her in real life, maybe she's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I love everything Jamie Lee Curtis is into. I mean, we just watched her in Everything Everywhere All at Once and Halloween Ends.
Oh, she was
Um,
so good in Halloween Ends. That was a great movie. Check
She
out
was
that
great.
review.
Yeah,
Why
she
does
carried
it
the film.
say Gabriel Iglesias was in this?
He probably
Um,
helped write it. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, or maybe he's a producer or something. Um,
They got the one kid from It.
yeah,
He's in it.
Jaden Marshall.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I mean, and I know the cast in the new movie is pretty stellar too, but I think that's just really fun. They're just like, let's just get as many stars as we possibly can in
Yeah.
this.
And it flows well. That's the hardest
That can
part.
be
is you
good
have a
and
cast
bad.
that's like this. And that's the thing, like, what was that other movie that just came out that I absolutely hated? Death on the Nile with Gal Gadot and like all those people. It was a it was a stacked cast, and it was one of the worst thriller Clue movies. It's almost identical to this, but it just has a different story, obviously. But I absolutely hated it. It was one of the worst newer movies that have dropped in the past 10 years.
What was that new Adam Sandler Jennifer Aniston movie where it's like Mystery Man or something like that, or whatever that was?
One
That's on
where
Netflix. too.
I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, so that movie recently came out too, last few years, and like that kind of somewhat reminded me of this, but like all these movies just kind of tanked compared to this.
Nah, this one's like, I feel like this is just one on its own.
Yeah, it's
Like,
it's
you
its
can
own genre.
Describe
really.
it to Clue,
Yeah.
but
I have
there's
a
just so many.
question.
Go ahead.
Do you guys think that this movie, besides originally I watched this movie, I fell asleep, but I rewatched it today. I liked it, so my opinion's changed. But I still had one thing that was the same. Do you guys think this movie is too long?
No,
No.
No, I
I
felt.
think it's the perfect length. If it was
I
any
felt
longer,
it was a
it'd be
little too
bad.
long.
It's
I'd have cut 20 minutes. I don't know where, but I would have snipped 20 minutes here and there. That's me.
I mean, this movie came out in 2019. I think I've seen it like 5 times.
I think if I were to cut any part of this movie, spoiler alert, it would be the laundromat scene or the scene where he's, where you see the dead body of her friend, and I would cut that scene 100%.
But she
'Cause it was
says Hugh did it.
Huh?
That's when she says Hugh did it.
Yeah, but it was still like
Okay.
I feel like that's one part of the movie where it kind of like goes off script. And I mean, yeah, it builds the story, but they could have still announced it other ways.
Yeah.
And then like them driving all around everywhere, that's kind of like just filler.
Now the car chase is funny though.
It is, but
It's like, what the fuck are we watching?
That's but I guess you can take that either way, because I thought, what the fuck am I watching? Like, come on.
I
Is this
find
necessary?
But here's the thing: I find it very hard to believe that Daniel Craig's character, Benoit Blanc, I think is how he says Benoit Blanc.
Benoit.
Just let fucking Marta just go off and do her one little errand and
Yeah.
sat in the car with his headphones in, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That seemed a little just dumb in my opinion.
Yeah.
I really love Daniel Craig as Benoit Blanc.
Oh,
he played it perfectly, and like
His
especially
accent-
having Lakeith Stanfield be his like what is it? Is he a rookie? Is he considered a rookie detective?
No, he's a lieutenant.
Lieutenant, and
Yep.
dude, just them side by side, like the chemistry is just perfect. I loved it.
Yeah, and the other
Yeah.
cop dude is funny too.
Yeah,
He's like a big fan.
The casting in this, like we said right from the get go, fantastic. I liked it quite a lot. I don't know if I would trade any of them out. Other than, I guess I just don't like.
Dude, and Michael Shannon's funny too in this movie.
oh yeah.
I mean, this Kane, he's just so funny.
He's a
Well,
good
dude,
actor.
the beginning is just perfect when everyone is just in there like waiting on the will, because like everyone's just greedy as shit, and it shows you like the their evil side to each family member.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think obviously the best part of the movie is when what's her name? They have so many callbacks visually in this movie from Ryan Johnson, and that's obviously the story, like the baseball, the knife, the carpet threads, the shoe prints in the mud, the 2 dogs outside the window.
Yeah. Well, so let's talk about the baseball really quick, because I don't think Mike and Andrew probably know, but do you guys know anything about the baseball? Do you notice anything throughout the movie about the baseball?
Well, now you said it, like I should have, but no, I didn't.
No, I mean,
That's
I
why
didn't
I'm saying like
a
callbacks.
couple
Like,
times.
this is a good one.
Yeah, so the baseball goes around the whole house in different characters' hands throughout the entire movie. It starts on the desk, and then Richard throws it out the window. The throw is really funny. It doesn't go that
Now
far.
that you say it, I do realize it.
Yeah.
Think about
I
it.
don't even realize that it touched every character.
No, I mean, I just like progressively, you just see it throughout the movie, and it moves all the way around to the house, getting back to the desk. I believe at one point the dogs take it and bring it to Marta's character, and then Daniel Craig throws it at one point too. And then it gets back to Jamie Lee Curtis, who puts it back on her dad's desk, finding the note.
Yep.
So Richard threw the ball, leading his wife back to the note on the desk, which exposed him. Yeah, so it's like cool things like that. Yeah, and like too,
That's
like he
neat.
broke into the desk, putting the note on the desk, and then you see halfway through Jamie Lee Curtis is in the bathroom reading the notes from her dad with that same kind of notepad and everything like that. So there's so many. That's the thing about this movie that's so amazing is the rewatchability, is catching all this stuff. I mean, not a scene goes by that's wasted. That's why I'm telling you, Andrew, I don't think there's anything we could cut because there is so much detail. And
I don't know.
But that's the thing
just
is like
my impression.
But that's
you
why
fell asleep
it's
during
so
the first
good
time
that-
you watched this movie and you hate it.
I was
That's why,
tired.
like, you can give all
I
the
watched
credit
it
to
again
Ryan
today, I liked
Johnson
it.
and anyone that had their hands in creating this film because, like you said about the baseball, there's so many other callbacks. Like right at the beginning, when you see all the family run it, like every family member shown, and Ransom's the last one. The dogs don't bark for anyone but Ransom. And then the one time where he's scaling, or when she's scaling the
Inside the house.
yeah, the side of the house, and he's outside, the dogs are barking. You hear the barking, and they only bark when Ransom's there. Like they don't bark at anyone else but Ransom. So that's a callback right there, and you already know that Ransom was outside doing his thing.
Yeah, then Blanc says like dogs are a good judge of character and
Yeah,
everything like that too.
yep.
Really
So
hammered away.
That's like
I will
that's another
say-
callback to just tell you who it was.
I will say though, it was kind of like a little predictable that he was like the antagonist in my opinion.
Towards the end,
I mean, even like the second that he started laughing at the will reading, like I pretty much kind of knew like something funky was gonna happen. There's gonna be like an extra twist that we didn't expect.
Well, like I was confused my first time watching it because I mean my first time was a couple years ago, but I was like, oh, okay, so he just ends up killing himself, and Marta's the reason why he was gonna die. But I'm like, where's the movie gonna take us now? You know, like I said, I'm expecting to go through this movie with Blanc and kind of solve this mystery and get through this web of lies, but you kind of know in the first like 40 minutes, 30 minutes of what truly happened. And they come up with this idea for Marta to not be a witness. And then so I was like, okay, are we gonna kind of see how she maybe might get away with it? I thought maybe that's where the movie is heading. So you kind of don't know. The movie keeps you on your toes too.
that's
You
why
don't really know what to
yeah.
expect.
That's the thing. Like I feel like this movie isn't predictable. Like even if you see Ransom, like another character has a callback or a story behind them where they're like, oh, it's definitely them. So like I know that Ransom's definitely one of your first people to pick, but then it kind of veers off the path, and then right at the end it just hits you that Ransom was the villain, bad guy the whole time, and it was all like his plot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of foreshadowing too, and I think like this is just me and like when I watch things, when I see foreshadowing and like when I see things that are left just up for interpretation or just like left out in the open in the beginning of a movie, I expect something for that at the end. And that's just the way I kind of view things. And that's what makes me like movies and series so much, is like seeing things come together and
Yeah.
That's fair.
That old moment, you know?
Yeah. Well, then too, like, there's the scene where like Marta's walking with the lieutenant and the other detective and, you know, Blanc and, you know, she uses the magnet to mess up the tape. She walks through her tracks again to mess those up. And then she's throwing part of the side of the house that fell off and stuff like that. And you're like, how is Blanc this like amazing detective and he's not like catching this stuff? But you figure out he knew the whole time. She was involved from the second he saw her. So it's like, I love things like that. It explains the mess and the plot holes and everything like that. Like you'd think like, I remember that the first time I watched it, I'm like, how would she like getting around this guy? This master detective and everything like that. So,
well, Blanc was talking about it too. Like it's like this like donut with a donut hole in the middle that has a donut hole, and that donut hole has another hole in the middle. So,
yeah,
like you said, it was less of like a continuous thing, but more so just like a big centerpiece thing that we kind of got like the beginning and end, but we were kind of just filling in the middle.
Yeah,
and it was kind of like webbing together, like you said, in a different way though.
Yeah, I mean, just like the beginning of his character where it's just like he's sitting there, you know, next to the piano and he's hitting the F key every time when they're being fake and false and everything and lying.
I think Richards' his name is like, who the fuck is that guy?
Yeah.
He did
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, he's really funny too. I mean, all the characters have their moments too. Like one of the ones that always cracks me up is Daniel Craig at the end. He's like explaining everything, and he says how Jacob Thromby was sitting on the toilet like jerking off or whatever, which was a callback earlier on in the movie. I just love that, like, he threw that kid under the bus.
He was like, who was the Nazi kid jerking
Yeah,
off.
the Nazi kid jerking off. Yeah, he just like threw him under the bus and everything like that. So I mean, every character has their moment where they're really funny.
Oh yeah. And like I said, the best shot of this entire movie is Natalie De Armas sitting on top of the what would you say, the platform up on top of the house, sipping
Balcony?
that same cup of coffee. Yeah, the balcony.
Yeah.
Drinking that same cup of coffee that they show like in the opening scenes. And what's it say, like, my house, my rules, my coffee.
Yeah.
So I mean, and she's the one that originally touched that glass, so that just foreshadows back to who's originally, who's finally gonna get that will and do all that information.
They do a good job too. I don't know if any of you guys touched on this, but like you really not knowing, they make everyone seem guilty in one way or another, which is really cool. I mean, throughout the whole movie,
everyone
like,
is
guilty.
guilty.
I got it. Yeah, and everyone is, I guess, guilty of something in their own way, but you watch through it and you don't really get that answer until the last 25 minutes.
Well, yeah. So let's talk about like the opening of the movie. They kind of introduce each character as they're interviewing them, or interrogating them, however you want to look at it. And each flashback, they're showing you the same flashback almost every single time. And each flashback is slightly different, with each kid behind their dad celebrating his 85th birthday while he's blowing out the candles, everything. So you really don't know. Each character you're seeing is like telling you a completely different side of the story, which is awesome because you are following Blanc and the other detectives. And yeah, so you don't know who to trust. But then with Marta's, I guess, disability where she can't lie without throwing up, you tend to trust her more. And yeah, like we figure out later on in this movie that Harlan leaves all his assets and everything to Marta. But I mean, Marta was like a daughter to him, like a best friend to him. She could be honest with him and he could be honest with her. When they're like goofing around upstairs, it's like heartwarming. So yeah, I really like that stuff though. I'm not a huge fan of flashbacks, but the way this movie did it was excellent. It was amazing.
Agreed.
I like at first too, they give us like this big kind of plot, obviously, like how did Harlan die and like who killed him, but they also do like the subplots too of like Richard,
each person,
Curtis, her character, and just like when they introduce the other two characters, like two other little subplots, they do a really good job of just kind of.
But that's what's perfect about Daniel Craig's character, is that he's good at his job. He brings all this extra shit out for no reason. Like he knows everything before they even know, which is great.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, I knew Richard is cheating on his wife.
But and you got to think Natalie De Armas was just in the
Anna De Armas.
What did I just say?
Natalie.
And you called Catherine Langford Hannah Baker.
Because I don't know her name.
That's all right though.
Oh, also
Anna De Armas. Whenever
really cool.
She's
apparently going to have a bigger role in the MCU as Tony Stark's daughter.
Yeah, because she was supposed to be an Endgame, right? But they cut it or something.
Yeah, but apparently she's going to come back and have like a bigger role.
Yeah, because
Aiden's really hoping he can get.
Well, no. So in Endgame,
Marvel.
when Iron Man snaps, it was supposed to pan to like Iron Man in the Soul Dimension or whatever, and she was there, like the older version of his daughter and everything. So,
I'm kind of glad they cut that, because I mean,
I am too.
But then it sucks for her. I mean, they're probably just like doing it out of pity, because like that's one of the biggest movies of all time, and she's just got her scene cut.
Yeah, that sucked.
I'd be pissed.
I'd be pretty pissed.
Yeah, but no, I mean, No Time to Die. He handpicked her to be in it, and I don't know if any of you guys have seen it, but she plays like a minor role in it, kind of. But I guess she's in it towards the end. So
this movie kind of blew her up, right, dude?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, she definitely worked on like some, I don't know if you want to call them indie films, but like low budget, not big name films. And this is one of her first, obviously her like come to fame, I would call it. She probably calls it too. But I mean, this was such a great movie, and it was so successful that, I mean, look at where she's at now.
Yeah.
She's one of like
13 Reasons. Was her call to fame?
No, we're talking about
Anna De Armas.
Oh,
Well,
fuck.
too, and then
That's
like you said,
that just proves how clueless I am. I barely know.
But hey, could you blame Daniel Craig? Like that's the staple of James Bond movies and 007s is that they have Bond girls.
Yeah.
And Natalie
Natalie.
Ana de Armas, he's like, come on.
Yeah. Well, and then
So,
too, she worked again with Chris Evans on The Gray Man and everything like that too. So
Yo,
She has another movie coming out. Chris Evans, I think.
does she?
Yeah.
Oh, coming up.
I don't think so.
I know she's gonna be in the John Wick movie, the new one.
Is she?
Yeah, because she's getting a spin-off John Wick show or something where she'll be like this badass too or something in that universe. Or
They've been talking
I don't
about
know.
that John Wick
I know
show
this
for a
bit.
while.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if anyone could do it. She could. I mean, she was just in Blonde too, which we recently just talked about. Where she's probably
Yeah,
the only
it's
good
called,
part of that movie.
Ghosted.
Ghosted. Okay, it's not out yet though, right?
No, 2023. It's an American romantic action adventure film. What the fuck
Yeah.
does that even mean, bro?
It's literally like Gray Man, kind of.
It's 5 different adjectives for like just give those in one thing. Like, what is it?
Yeah.
Mm.
But
Well, and then-
she was good. She was in that one movie, Deep
But it's
Water
her-
on Hulu.
Starring in it.
Deep
Oh,
Water on
Oh
Hulu
yeah,
was
With Ben
really
Affleck.
bad. Ben Affleck, and
I heard that was
from,
horrible.
it was really bad. It had Ben Affleck in it, and that's when they're married or dating, and she just cheats on him like nonstop.
Oh,
And
wow.
she's having an affair with that like a bunch of random guys, like his friends too, and he
Oh,
knows
wow.
about it. And the other guy was from Euphoria.
Oh
the
wow.
tall dude.
Yeah.
Sounds like a peach.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's a fucking motherfucker, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, his wife's cheating on him.
No,
Uh,
I mean she's a great actress. I mean, there's not one. I mean,
She's a really
I
good
guess
actress.
Deepwater.
Aiden would really like to meet her and shake her
I'd
hand.
really love to. I really
Yeah,
love
so-
to collaborate with her. I guess you could call it.
yeah. So let's talk about how racist this family is. They keep referring to everyone as the help. They all say that Marta's from a different country that she actually is from. There's a part where Richard calls her over to ask her kind of like a humiliating question about her ethnicity and everything like that, and her heritage,
That's it the right way. You
and then he tries to hand her a plate, right? To clean up his mess,
It's
which
so
apparently
bad.
was the actor's decision. Just to show how much more of a scumbag his character is. But yeah, each of them
Very
do
clear.
it. Yeah, and like too, each of them mentioned too how they wanted to have her at the funeral, but they got outvoted. So you're kind of thinking, well, who got outvoted here? Because all you guys are telling her that you wanted her there, but you got outvoted. So
You got outvoted.
Well,
yeah, I'm starting to think no one voted for her.
That's the ironic part in the joke.
Oh
Nobody
yeah,
fucking-
no, yes,
They all just said they didn't want her there because they're racist.
exactly, yes, and that's what makes it so much sweeter when she gets all his assets and everything like that. I mean, it's awesome. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, so that's another thing about this family. They're not a good group of people. So
Really,
No.
really quick here. I'm looking at the cast for the second Knives Out. Do you
Glass
wanna
Onion.
save that?
Yeah.
You do want to save that, or do you want?
No, go ahead. You want to read it off?
Yeah. So we got Daniel Craig's coming back.
Yes.
Madeline Klein.
Yep.
Outer Banks.
From Outer
girl,
Banks. Yep.
Mhm.
Jessica Henwick.
Mhm.
Kate Hudson. We
Yep.
got the Hulk. Michael Brass. I mean Edward Norton. Catherine Han. Ethan Hawke. We got Dave Bautista, Serena Williams, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yep.
I don't know
It's
what-
gonna be good.
Yeah,
as
and
shit,
Dave Bautista's playing that YouTube influencer who is
See,
like a big
but
Republican and everything. So
that's the
Oh,
thing is like we hate sequels, and because I mean, like this is a gem. Like this is perfect. That's when I heard that they were making a second one. I'm
Say
like,
the word-
why?
Say the word you want to say it.
I'm like, why would they make
It's
this
mint.
film when
It's mint.
it's mint? Why, like,
is.
when they announced it, why the hell would they make a second film and ruin it? But I have high hopes for this, and I really think that it's going to be better than the original.
dude, there's early reviews coming out about it already, and people are saying like it's great. Like it's
yeah,
amazing.
I mean, it's
so-
not going to be bad. So
It says,
it's
It's
either
already
going
got
to
a
be
91.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
par or it's gonna be above par. I mean,
Yeah.
which is bad, but
Yeah, so this new one is a Netflix movie, but it's coming to theaters, I
Oh,
believe,
yeah.
a week early or 2 weeks early. I think we're all on board to go see it in theaters. At least I am.
100%.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
super
not on
excited to
board
see
that
it.
That's a fucking Netflix movie, though.
Well, we'll see, right, Mike? Maybe that'll end the streak of bad Netflix movies for you. I don't know.
Mhm.
It better.
These early reviews, though, I mean, gives me more confidence. I was pretty confident in it going in already because the fact this isn't a Star Wars movie helps Ryan Johnson out because he
That's
can't ruin
true.
that. He can't ruin that franchise even more than he already did.
Mhm.
What the fuck was that casino scene? Anyway, sorry, episode 8's just like the worst thing I've ever seen. Star Wars related.
It's a great movie. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's awesome. I don't know what I was saying there either. Yeah, but yeah, the way the dogs act and everything like that too. I mean, I read a thing saying that Chris Evans was like in love with those dogs and those dogs like loved him. So Ryan Johnson said some of the best acting was between Chris Evans and those dogs, making each other hate each other. So that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, comparing it to the other cast, I don't know which one. That will be interesting too. We'll talk about that when we review the new movies, like which kind of cast held up better.
And there's
'Cause-
probably some surprise cameos that we might not see.
Oh yeah, oh for sure, like secret cameos and stuff. Well, like there. I don't know if there's anyone in this cast I'd really replace with anyone else. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
I don't like Tony.
You don't like Tony?
I'm a Tony hater, dude.
You're just a
Tony
hater.
Collette's awesome.
If you're a pessimistic asshole.
I don't think so.
No, I'm excited to see how Glass
Okay.
Onion obviously stands to this movie. I think that this Knives Out 1 cast is great. And I mean, that second one's good, but it's not as good as this one. But I'm curious to see how Benoit Blanc's going to play because he's obviously the only one that's going to transfer over to both movies. That'd be cool if Lakeith Stanfield would be in it, but obviously it's not going to take place in that area. So I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll just find out.
Yeah, because he's sweet too. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
he's kind of doubting Blanc throughout the movie.
Yeah,
He's
he's
saying, like
saying
it
how
was
he's
just a
not
suicide.
as good as what he is.
Yeah. Yeah, and then too, I kind of like that most of the family kind of knew who Blanc was from reading the newspapers and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Which clearly how it got to Ransom, right? How Ransom discovered him too,
And
to pay
Twitter.
him. Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. Like there is so many tiny things like that that really capture the mystery behind this movie. And I am a sucker for mystery movies. So yeah, so I wonder how this new movie will do it. Will like, you know, I kind of tried to stay away from the trailer. I watched like maybe the first half of it or something. I didn't want to know too much about it. I just saw a funny clip of like Dave Bautista being funny by the pool with a gun in his hand on a Speedo, which
Mhm.
looked really funny. But yeah, like I don't know if it'll be like I assume they're trying to solve a murder, but like will they tell you how, you know, how kind of what happens early on in the movie the way this one did, or like do you kind of go through the whole thing not knowing anything at all?
Well, just
Well,
really
I don't think they'll use the same exact like
formula.
formula.
Formula. Okay.
Well, really quick, it says tech billionaire Miles Braun invites his friends for a getaway on his private Greek island. When someone turns up dead, Detective Blanc is put on the case. So,
Okay.
See,
Yeah.
but that's the thing. It can't be like the story's not going to be the same where there's an old guy and he kills himself just to give his will away. Like there's going to be no will associated with this new one. It's going to be like a murder mystery, I think.
Yeah, and the fact that they're trapped on this island too is
Yeah,
cool.
like no one is dead because because they have a reason to kill someone, which is
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? Like he's not old, he's not rich, but maybe it's the billionaire or the millionaire that dies and we see that. Like that's kind of the story, but I mean it's gonna be
Well-
sweet going in blind.
Edward Norton's the millionaire, the billionaire.
That's sick.
Oh, really? So he'll
He's
probably
gonna play
die
that
early on.
character good. Yeah, he's probably gonna be the dead one.
Oh,
I don't
dang
know.
it.
I mean, it might show that in the trailer. I know it's out. Haven't watched it yet. I'm definitely going to after.
I don't even remember seeing a trailer for Knives Out.
I don't think so
remember-
either. I
I,
think I,
don't
went
think so.
blind.
I
And
just
I'm pretty
showed
sure I
up at
saw
the
this at the theater,
theaters.
too.
I did.
I'm
We
gonna
might have
expose
seen it
myself.
together or
No, I was in Florida.
Oh.
I saw it actually with my grandma. Of all
So you
people.
fell asleep at the theater?
I did, yeah.
Wow. I don't think I've ever done that.
something in
I'm
this
gonna
popcorn.
expose myself here though.
And this is a good ass movie too.
I was
Someone
out.
spiked the butter.
Yeah, if it was like Morbius that you fell asleep through,
I was
I know
down in
Mike loves that movie,
I was
but-
down in Florida in Naples, and it was raining that day. And I was home at my grandma's. She was like, "We should go see this movie. I saw an
Did she like
ad
it?
for it." Yeah, she liked it.
Mhm.
I fell asleep.
Wow. Should have had her on instead.
I know.
Um,
She's back in
um,
Michigan. I'll get her on.
Hey, so I'm reading that there's multiple sequels coming out.
are they? And they'll probably all be Netflix, right?
I mean, the rights to 2 Knives Out sequels. So
Okay,
Netflix
and I
did.
assume-
Netflix gave them 2 movies, so
Trailer.
they got another one coming out.
And I assume Ryan Johnson will continue to do it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah, you guys want to kind of get into the trivia side of this movie?
Hit the trivia. Hit the scores. What
Set
you
the
got?
triv. Okay. There was a ton, but I only did kind of a few that I really liked. And some weird ones. This one's kind of a weird one. Jacob's line, "You had sex with my grandpa, you dirty anchor baby," was improvised by the actor, but was originally lost in the scene since multiple characters were talking and yelling over him. Michael Shannon noticed it and approached Ryan Johnson, telling him that it had to be in the scene. So they amped him up even more. I remember hearing it. I mean, every time I hear it, I'm like, what the hell did he just say? And how did he come up with that? So yeah, he just improvised that completely. Dirty anchor baby. How do you come up with that?
That is, that wouldn't. That's not my vocabulary.
Yeah, I mean, but he's a Nazi. So, it was Don Johnson's idea for his character to hand his empty plate to Marta. I mentioned that earlier, as if she was the maid during the immigration conversation. In the commentary, director Ryan Johnson described Chris Evans' entrance when the dogs are barking surrounding him, while reading as some of the best acting he's ever seen, because the dogs love Chris Evans and Chris Evans loves the dogs, which I mentioned that earlier. Despite playing his mother in the film, Kay Callahan is 6 years and 27 days younger than Christopher Plummer is. Plummer was born on December 13th, 1929, and Callahan was born on January 9th, 1936. So they made her look old, like his mom.
Yeah.
That's
And I
kinda
like
funny.
that too. And they're like his mom. She's still alive. I mean, I think if he just turned 85,
Yeah, really.
she's at least in her hundreds, probably, right?
Yeah, she's got to at least be 100.
Yeah. So they made her look old. The sequel, Glass Onion, A Knives Out Mystery, was announced. The only relation to it is that Blanc is in it, who is simply working on his next mystery, which we covered. All the clocks and phones have accurate timing. In an interview, director Ryan Johnson said, "Anytime a clock or phone is on the set, someone had to pay attention very closely to the time and ask me what time it was supposed to be in every actual scene."
Wow.
That's really cool. That is really cool. I mean, you
That's
gotta,
a lot of attention to detail that they couldn't put into Star Wars.
Yeah.
yeah, really.
Because
He's
it was
focused on
he got to do what he wanted, man.
Yeah, it's true.
What
I like that,
company,
though.
what production company did Knives Out?
Lionsgate.
Lionsgate.
Yep, Lionsgate.
I mean, I guess we'll see what Netflix does, but
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I assume they still let him kind of take the reins and like do everything behind the scenes and in front of the camera and behind the camera.
Money. They just want the
Yeah.
money.
Yeah. Well, I think they really want to. They want to get more into the theater kind of movies, right? That will make money.
How
in
ironic.
blockbusters.
A complete 360.
I'm so curious to see who gets that money when it like goes to theaters.
Yeah.
Like just the back end of it.
I know.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the scandals and the lawsuits that come out of these
Yeah.
Netflix release.
Netflix CEO
Yeah, like it's
is
gonna be,
embezzling billions of dollars.
yeah, going to theaters. Actors aren't getting paid. Like I wonder. That sounds like a bunch of.
Well, that's the
Mumbo
thing too.
jumbo.
Like, if you want to, if you're like, I mean, we're all pretty excited to see the new one, but like, if you're like, yeah, I'll see it. Like, oh, I missed it in theaters. Okay, I'll catch it on Netflix instead. So, it kind of works in a way where they release it a week or two earlier.
It does.
in
The only thing
theaters.
that I like of it, and because we're movie snobs as much as big as we are, you get to pay to go see a movie and then you get to watch as many times as you want after, which
Yeah.
I rarely do. But
Yeah.
anyone that does, like, hey,
It's
like,
nice that you have that
like this
quick.
movie, I can go watch it and I already pay for it. Like,
It makes me think of Doctor Strange, where I wanted to see like the scene again with like John Kay and all of them.
Yeah.
the Illuminati scene. And
The
that's why I
Illuminati.
literally went on Disney Plus the other night, like, what did that come out? 3 months ago, something like that, even longer.
March.
I literally just skipped right to that part. I was like, all right, this is sweet. I turned
Yeah.
it on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, but I do like that aspect of it. When you come from that standpoint, it's sweet. But then again, I mean, hey, at least they're trying to push to the theaters. I mean, I don't blame them. Like, I mean, it's better than just being strictly on streaming platforms. But Make good
I
shit.
think
No one wants to go to the movies to go see a dog shit movie.
Yeah, but I don't know. There's something everyone's got. I mean, there's times where I like to, sit in bed or sit on the couch and watch Netflix, but I don't know. The movies is an experience. So I'm glad that even though it is ironic that like Netflix is going to the movies, I'm happy they are.
Yeah.
And I will say, like, with COVID, I think we're kind of seeing just like the result of it in terms of like the hybrid stuff. Like, obviously, like work schedules, like in person, online, compared to like movie theater. It's in the movie theaters for the first couple of weeks, but then you can watch
And then you get it, yeah.
I
Which
got a
is
good-ass idea
honestly the
for a
best
movie
way to
theater.
do it.
I got a good-ass movie. I got a good-ass idea for a movie theater, and I'm going to say it right now
Be
live.
in your car while you watch the movie.
Wow, you're
It's like a drive-in.
No, I'm patenting it. No, honestly, I'm not even going to say it. I'll
Yeah,
text
well,
you.
Wow.
yeah, maybe say it on
Yeah,
Discord.
because I'm not going to say it out here, but it's
Wow.
Wow,
$1 billion
he's got
idea.
Yeah, he's sitting on $1 million
Obviously.
idea.
Billion.
good. His brain's just
Billion.
working. The gears are
Billion.
turning, and I can't
Billion.
get him to stop.
It's a
Billion.
gazillion dollar bill.
I need a Xanax.
Should we?
A bajillion dollar idea.
Since he's got that $1 billion idea on him, not sure where that falls in the
Drillion.
numeric value.
It's
Trillion.
GDRE.
Wow, that's a
Small
new
The G
value.
is silent.
Small $1 billion.
Who wants to lead us off with these scores? Unless, sorry, did you have more trivia, Josh?
No, that was it.
Okay.
I can do it. I'll do it.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
So honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I had another tough time kind of giving this movie a rating. Well, I liked it a lot. I think kind of like what we talked about at first. It was a different way of approaching the plot, which I really liked. Obviously, we thought it was we're gonna follow Blanc throughout this whole movie and figure out obviously who killed him and how he died. But they obviously gave us that early, and I like the way they did that. And they obviously had the subplots too with Richard cheating and all the other little subplots. So it was really well paced, I think. I do agree with you, Andrew, though, that I think it was a little bit too long. I still think they probably could have cut a solid 15 minutes out. I don't know where exactly, but it just felt maybe just a little too long. But
think
other than
Mike, I was going to say, I think right before you drop that score, I think it might have been, and it's kind of necessary for this type of movie, but at the same time makes it feel slow, is the pacing. Just
Fair.
a thought.
no, you're right. That's fair.
But it's
I feel like
necessary.
It is necessary, and it builds
Yeah.
up for a good
Exactly. Yeah.
and like a finaling scene.
Yeah, I mean, it is a mystery thriller. It's not an
Yeah.
action
No, that's my
movie,
point.
right? So-
I know.
That's fair. I mean, I guess like every part of like a movie can't be just like knock your socks off type deal.
Yeah.
You have some type of just built up, like you said. So
But it definitely keeps you entertained for your original watch.
Was this your first time watching, Mike?
yeah, I literally watched it probably like 14 hours ago, maybe.
Okay.
So it was an interesting watch, but I
Yeah.
liked it though, like I said.
Yeah.
But besides everything I said, the cast was amazing. And the attention to detail was really good. So I'm gonna go 91 out of 100.
Okay.
Nice.
Solid.
Nice.
Andrew, I know you usually finish this off, but I want you to go next. I want to hear what your thoughts are.
Okay. I originally
He's gonna give it like a 50.
no,
I'm just
no,
kidding.
no,
I know you like
Someone
that.
put up NyQuil in the movie theater, pop
Yeah.
machine, and I fell asleep.
The first time I watched this, I did fall asleep, but that was also when it came out in the theaters. So I kind of said, like, when we were all talking about doing this movie, I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this, but everyone kept saying, like, or at least Josh was a real big advocate, like, no, you got to rewatch, it's good.
Mhm.
And I rewatched it today, actually, so it's still fresh on my mind. I did know how it ended, though. I was asleep for the ending, or awake for the ending. So I did know how this movie ended going into it. However, I don't have too much to say because I didn't absolutely love it. This isn't 100 for me, but I didn't hate it like I originally thought. I mean, originally, before, if I wanted to rewatch this movie today, this would have been a 60, maybe a 50. However, rewatching it today, I liked it. Like I said, I would have cut 15 minutes somehow. I don't know. I'd have to sit down and clip away editing it, but I understand that it's necessary for a mystery movie to build into things, and it did keep me interested the whole time. This is unique. And another thing that I'll say that I didn't realize is the amount of attention to detail that went into this that I did not know about. I didn't realize the baseball, the thing with the clocks. Like, I have a lot of appreciation and respect for that. I mean, that's pretty damn cool. I did not know about that.
Yeah.
With that said, and all that in account, and my opinion on the movie and everything about it, I'm gonna go with a 89.
Okay.
Solid.
Yeah.
I can go next. Like I said, this is one of the best original films that we've seen in probably the past 10 years, in my opinion. I mean, you guys can maybe vouch. There's others out there that probably love this movie. It's probably their favorite movie of all time. But like I remember when it originally was announced, everyone was shitting on it because Ryan Johnson just made the worst Star Wars movie of all time. And I mean, that doesn't take away. That's just it's Disney. Like I said, like they gave him this, and that this is his genre.
Yeah,
he's
did a
good
good
at what
job.
he's doing. He's putting attention to detail, like with the clocks, all the callbacks, all that visual callbacks, all that stuff.
This
And
is a stunning movie.
It is, and it looks great too. Just the way that the camera pans and everything, all the
Mhm.
shots are perfect. So, casting perfect. Like it couldn't have been any better. Like who could you really added? We're lucky enough to even get this big of a cast for a movie of this type. Like I'm sure the budget wasn't as much as we think it is.
It was 40 million, but I'm sure that's probably not including the actors' salaries.
40 million.
Yeah.
Good.
Netflix is giving them a bag then for these next two. So
Yeah,
hopefully we don't
40
see any
million for
CGI.
that. That's impressive.
Yeah,
If that's
hopefully
Ryan
we don't
Johnson's probably
see-
getting more than that alone
Yeah, I mean he
for
deserves
the
it.
next two. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean the casting,
Where's
the
Netflix
story,
get
how
this
you know,
money?
I think that the pacing of it is perfect. How they go and they show you, they just hint at it. They show you the main idea of the film, and then they go and show Benoit Blanc, his role in everything and how he's the main character and how he's kind of the overseer of everything that happens, and he's analyzing everything, even if he's off screen, which is nice. And I just think that it ties in perfectly. Ana de Armas was great, especially her not being a well-known actress at the release of this film, and to see like where she's at now. Great.
Marilyn Monroe now.
Yeah. If you want to add that to her film career list. But no, I mean, all in all, I'm excited for Glass Onion, kind of a weird name for it, but we actually
Makes
have
me
one
think
down the
of
street.
Glass Onion down the fucking street.
Yeah,
All the time. man.
how it's gonna make me shit myself, so it better be good. But I love this movie. It's a great watch, and like you said, all those callbacks, like you definitely should read or watch a YouTube video about it because there's so many of them in this tight movie. And the rewatch factor of this is great. You know, like you said, you can turn it on anytime. It's a good watch. So with that being said, I think I'm going to give this a 95 out of 100. Great film.
Good score.
Highly recommend it.
We forgot to mention this part earlier too, because I wanted to touch on the scene. I noticed it this time around watching it. But did you guys notice on the phone where Blanc's kind of giving his final monologue on how Ransom did it, and they're trying to get him in the act, right, and to confess. And Ana de Armas' character Marta gets the phone call from the hospital, and she just hangs it up, and she goes, or she is on the phone. She goes, "Oh my God, that's great news! Thank you so much for letting me know. Thank you." And then she hangs up. I mean, they told her that her friend Fran just died. Can you imagine being the nurse on the other side of the phone? Like, what the hell? No,
Yeah.
she's dead. I don't know. I thought about that. I'm like, wow, imagine the other person on that side of the phone, like so confused as to what's going on.
And then
Yeah.
the fact that she still puked on Ransom, that was cool.
Yeah. She was able to hold it in for a
I
minute.
can
or two.
imagine
When
like
she-
getting fake puked on as an actor.
Oh yeah.
Regardless
Got in
if
his
it's
mouth
fake, that
and
shit's still
everything.
nasty.
Yeah. So I thought that part was kind of funny. I didn't even notice that till like this time around. I was like, wow, I wonder what that person was thinking. But yeah, I mean, you guys kind of all hit it on the head. It's, perfect actors, great director with a great writing, plot, everything. I mean, you guys say you can cut 10 minutes of this movie. I don't really think you can. I mean, I don't know what I would cut. I think this movie, I mean, it's been out for 3 years. I think I've seen it like 5 times, maybe 6. I mean, I really, really enjoy this movie. And every time I rewatch it, I learn more and more things about it, especially this time around because I kind of looked up more trivia and deep dive on it a little bit more. But
Yep.
yeah, I mean, there's just more things to figure out. There's more things to see, experience. There's like these little side things going on while the main story is progressing. And you do learn more and more about every single character, which, this movie captures really well. So I'm going to give this movie a 96. I really, really like this movie. Like Aiden said, very unique in the last 10 years.
It is.
Yeah.
It is
I mean,
very
we
unique.
don't get movies like this, and I'm a sucker for mystery movies and thrillers like this. So, with this star-studded cast and everything like that, what's not to like? What's not to love?
Yeah.
So I really like this movie a lot.
And I really like with as big of a cast as it has, it shows range of character, like actors and actresses that we've never seen before. Like, who would have ever known that Chris Evans could be a villain and play that role so well?
Yeah.
That's what I like about it.
Or Daniel Craig, this British guy playing
Yeah.
this.
And he's not playing James Bond.
KFC type.
Anyone can only name him off of being James Bond.
Yeah.
They don't
Yeah.
look at his
Yeah.
other films, but this is a great way to like show his range. Like, he's
Yeah, and it's not
"Oh,
like
I'm
an
sick of
action
being-"
movie or anything.
Yeah, I'm
crazy.
sick of being known as James Bond.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So
Yeah,
he was able to act
He's
like
great.
that.
ripped in real life, dude.
Oh yeah. He's
Daniel
ripped?
Craig,
Yeah.
he's absolutely shredded in real life.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, I mean, we're definitely gonna be reviewing Knives Out 2, the sequel to Knives Out, Glass Onion. So get ready for that. It's gonna be on Netflix. We're gonna go see it in the theater most likely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it
we'll
comes
get
out
it
the
out early.
20.
I feel
Mhm.
like we have to record it in Glass Onion when we
Yeah, we're gonna
when
we're gonna
review
ask Glass Onion
Glass
to
Onion.
record Glass Onion in
There's
Glass
a
Onion.
restaurant around us. If you're a listener, that one of our few listeners that isn't from the local area, called Glass Onion.
Got a
Yeah,
little
our-
Coney spot.
Yeah. We'll
Great
get a
food,
table
great
and
food,
just
by
sit
the way.
there.
Yeah, great food. So, maybe
Yeah.
we will. Maybe we'll get a little camera set up and eat some
Bunch of
eggs
mics and stuff.
and fry
Maybe
these
we'll let
eggs, eat
Brian
this toasted
back.
jelly before I put a whooping on you, boy.
But yeah, I mean, next our next episode will be the greatest beer run with Zac Efron. Maybe we'll add some else to it. We'll probably hit it with some movie news. But yeah, that's our Friday. It'll be our Friday episode. So
Tune in.
I'm
We
gonna go
may
to the
be
liquor store
drinking.
No, I'm gonna go to the liquor store and probably ask some drunk bum outside if he wants to record the greatest
yeah,
beer
be
run ever.
a guest. Yeah.
He could be a special guest.
But thank you everyone for listening. Go get a hat. Go download
Yeah.
these episodes on Apple and Spotify. Go check out our YouTube.
Go download on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everything that you possibly
iHeart.
can listen to a podcast on.
Comment. Tell us how
go
much you hate us.
Comment. Yeah,
Yeah.
go to the
Or love
website,
us.
check it out. We
Or
add
love us.
Tell Aiden that he's a virgin.
Yeah.
Leave it in the comments.
Remind
please.
him. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
remind me, please.
First person to do that, I
Yeah.
swear I will literally Venmo you $1.
And,
Michael
if anyone-
buy
I
you a
think it
hat.
used to
I
be
don't have
5,
anything-
Mike.
If
I
anyone
don't have
from
anything more.
Potbelly, McDonald's, Wendy's, anything's hiring, be sure to drop resumes in the job applications for Mike's resume will be put on the website.
Yeah.
If anybody has a blind
help us
sister,
out.
just let us know and we can set up a date for them and Aiden. That'd be awesome for both of them.
Yeah, that'd be nice too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet. We all ended on a great note.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
glad we're all on the same page. All right, boys.
All right. Thank you guys so much for listening.
Yep. Have a good night.
See ya.
See you on the next
Yeah.
episode.